Hey guys, what's going on? StormRider36 here, and today I got a Destiny post-gameplay commentary for you. Hello, that's something you don't see every day. Usually Call of Duty, isn't it? It's the easiest thing to record for me, because I'm good at it. Make myself look good on the internet. Isn't that why we do this? No, that's not why I do this. I do this because it's fun. But Sparrow Racing, it's a new thing. Just came out today, and it's fun as shit. Oh, that's a commentary. Okay, it's been starting. No, I'm kidding. It's really, really interesting, actually. I mean, there's only 2 maps, so it's like they can expand it a lot. But, you know, it's a limited time thing. That's what they're advertising it to be. And, you know, on the front, on the face of it, limited time, oh, that's pretty cool, it's not going to be around forever, so you got to play it now. But at the same time, it's really fun, and I wish it would stay around longer than, like, I don't know, 3 weeks, 2 weeks? Isn't that how long usually these events last? It's an event. It's a lot of fun too, and it actually gave like the ship lady and the other, like the hangar area, something else besides 2 factions. It actually brought the Guardians there instead of just having that be one of the side places like where the speaker is. He's not that important. He's kind of annoying to go talk to. Actually, I don't really like it. I don't usually go over there, but I digress. I'm on a tangent about why I don't like the speaker. But it's really fun. It is really fun. It's really finicky. It's very, very finicky, if I have to admit anything that's wrong with it. Like you slightly touch something wrong, you could flip and go fucking crazy out of control. You'll see that in the video. You have to be very in control, very knowledgeable of the Destiny physics of the Sparrow. If you don't know, good luck with that, because you're going to go flying in all different directions. I use the time breaker personally because I just like the fact that I have the RT, the boost. So, I'll use it at the very end of a race to get past somebody that I'm really close to. Or I'll use it going off of a jump so that I can sail farther in the air. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it fucks me in the ass. I mean, you just have to be smarter about it. Like, I'm not that smart about it. What else? What else is there to talk about? There's the random drops, which are amazing. You can get horns. You can get special gear that doesn't really do anything for you except for make you look cool when you're racing. But then there's the helmets and the marks. Holy shit. I have seen a 309, I think is the highest one I've seen, light level mark. And then helmets, I've seen 300. I got a 298 one. My friends got a 307. It's ridiculous. It's crazy how high the light level can get on these pieces of armor, and actually it's pretty cool when you think about it. So it's actually a really good way to farm good armor, maybe if you want to combine it with armor you already have to get a higher light level. But as of right now, you can only get objects with actual light level in helmets and in marks, like your Titan mark, your Warlock bond, your Hunter hood. Really, that's the only things that actually carry light level. The other ones don't have a lot to it at all, if any. Because the chest piece, I know just for me personally, the chest piece dropped me by 30 light just right off the gate as soon as I put it on, so I don't really focus on that stuff. In my opinion, it's free legendary marks, and who can argue with those? Free legendary marks are amazing. So let's talk about the 2 maps. The 2 maps are on Venus and Mars, and then there's a variety of enemies on the map. The enemies on the map aren't really what concerns you, because you can run through them. The ones that do concern you are let's think, they're the servitors for the Fallen. You don't run through them, you bounce off of them, so you want to avoid them. The Hydras for the Vex, you want to bounce off of them too. And so far for the Cabal, I haven't actually seen one of their bigger spawns, so it's like you just run through all the Cabal, so it's not really a big deal. But you have to be wary of some of the enemies, otherwise you can just run through them. And funny fact, you can actually kill them on the Sparrow in the Sparrow race, and actually it counts towards bounties for killing things. I only found that out because I actually got a Taken bounty done, because the Taken show up on these races sometimes. So that's always a plus, you can get a bounty done while having fun racing your Sparrow and just trying to beat people. And then there's the little shortcuts, and it's actually kind of cool that how they did the shortcuts. The shortcuts, you sacrifice, your gates, your checkpoints, whatever you want to call them, the things that make you go faster, you sacrifice those in order to, hopefully get ahead. Now, I would say only use those shortcuts if the group of people that are in your race are really close together and you're, like, towards the back. If you're in the front, don't use it, because then you're at a disadvantage coming out of it, and then if you're in the front, you're not going to be able to stay in front because the people behind you are going to have the speed boost. If you're behind, you can get into the middle of the pack and hopefully, just have it so that you can hang out and hopefully pass people up and get farther up. And actually, one big thing, now that I'm talking about like passing people and getting in front of people, it's actually really easy to come back. You can be super far back and actually be able to catch back up into the race. You're never out of it unless you make yourself out of it. From what I noticed, and from probably stuff I'll be posting on this, you will mess up. If you're not perfect at Sparrow racing, you're going to mess up. I mess up all the time. But then I can come back from being in last to, like, go to third. And with the way Destiny works, it's RNG, random number generation. It actually doesn't matter what place you come in for the things at the end. The only reason that place might matter is because you're doing the challenges for the ship lady, so that you can get one of the elemental sparrows, which I'll talk about. You can get, like, the toolkits and all that, whatever. But it's really actually kind of cool that they introduced this to, give the sparrows a little bit more meaning than just being your mode of transportation on the planets, except for the Dreadnought. And so let's talk about the sparrows. You get, for just doing 5 races, you get a 160 speed Sparrow, which is pretty cool because it's fast. It's pretty good. It's better than the Timebreaker, which is 150. It's my favorite one so far. But then once you finish the quest line, you actually get an elemental Sparrow. Now, I don't actually know which element it's going to be, whether it's your subclass or your sword, maybe, because I haven't finished it yet. Maybe I'll get it, depending on what character you are on, probably might have an influence, because you're not going to play solar on every single character, Hunter, Warlock, and Titan, just like you want to Void or Arc, whatever. But anyway, the maps are really well thought out. They're really well done. I like the Venus map more, just because it's a straight line, I guess. And I think it's kind of cool how it teleports you back to the beginning, kind of putting forth the Vex part of the game, where Venus is taken over by the Vex, and they have the portals that they can go wherever they want on the planet, and maybe even go to Mars. And then the Mars one is a little bit too windy for me, because there's 2 parts that, like, circle around a few times, and the turning on the Sparrows isn't the best, so I'm okay with it, but at the same time, you can slide through a turn and then hit the wall, and then people pass you up really easily. So, it's all about figuring it out and trying it out for yourself, not just taking my word for it. Excuse me. But it's really, really fun. And you would think with only having 2 maps to race on that it would get repetitive. Every race is different. You race differently every time, mainly because there's player collision, and I will get into a rant on player collision. Don't you worry about it. But, you race differently every time. Every position has different checkpoint width, which is, like, it blows my mind to even think about how they did that. If you're in first, your checkpoint's really small. When you're in sixth, your checkpoint is a lot bigger. That makes so much sense. Allow the people in the back to, cut more corners. The first place person has to do a almost exact route in order to stay in first. Otherwise, people in the back, they can cut their time down to catch back up, and I think that's one of the reasons why it is easy to catch back up, is that you can cut your time down and actually not have to worry about, being far back or anything. What else? I've seen people get engrams from this too, whether it be blue, legendary. Somebody even got an exotic engram from just hitting something in the race and then picking it up, which I think is actually kind of really cool. The exotic engrams, they're extremely rare, obviously, so I don't think it's actually a big deal. Legendaries, again, super rare, Blues, I pick up a ton of blues and greens, of course. No one wants to talk about greens. No one wants to talk about greens. Let's face it. And then the armor is alright. I wish it did something more than just the helmets and the marks, doing stuff. I wish it actually held weight and all that stuff so that, you could actually use it after this event goes over. The horns, I don't really care for any of the horns. It's just a fun little aesthetic that they put in because it's Destiny. If you can dance, you can beep your horn on the Sparrow. I just think that's kind of cool. So now let's talk about player collision. Oh my god. It is the most annoying thing to have to deal with. Because when you do the little right bumper, left bumper, side nudges to like get yourself to move a little bit to the side without having to like adjust your course, God, people do that to push you out of the way almost immediately in the race. Now, sometimes it works for them, sometimes they go flying off the map. But just the fact that they are going to do it makes them the biggest dick in the world. Why you gotta do that, man? Why you gotta do that to us? We didn't do it to you. I don't try to knock into people mainly because, it messes me up too. But some people, they have the interest. They're like, hey, you know what? Fuck this. I'm gonna ruin this person's day. And God, it's so annoying. It, to me, feels like I can't bump other people, but they can just bump the shit out of me. I don't know if it feels like that for anybody else. I don't try to bump people. And then I accidentally do, and it, like, devastates their race. Like, I was playing with my friend. I accidentally landed on top of him, and it just ruined it. And I was like, oh, Jesus, what the fuck is going on? It's crazy. The player collision is a little bit much, and it's really easy to flip over in this game. I never really knew how easy it was. You hit the tiniest little bump the wrong way, you will go spinning in the air and better hope to God you land on your feet. I'd much rather die at that point, but, I don't. So, it's a problem. It happens to me all the time, then I end up in last, then I come back to, like, third or fourth. I don't really know. But it's a lot of fun. I really, really like the update. I like the fact that they're doing these small little updates, in between the big DLC packs, because it's kind of fun. It keeps us interested, it keeps people coming back to Destiny. New stuff is being put in the game all the time. It's actually really, really cool and really, really interesting. And it makes a ton of sense, oddly enough, that they do this, because it brings people back, because they don't want people to forget about Destiny, because, it's a really good game, it's really interesting, and it's really fun. But go and try Sparrow Racing for yourself. It's really fun, really interesting. Thank you all for watching. Subscribe for more content. Leave a like and a comment, please. It helps me out a lot, really. And it's been Stormrider 36, and I will see you all later.